Compassion Campers. It's Jamie here to do some yoga with you. Mowgli's here as well. He found a little spot in the sun, so he's going to keep us company for at least a little bit this morning. Let's start this morning. Our session today is about compassion toward ourselves, loving and being kind to ourselves. And Jesus talked about two great commandments, and the first one was to love the Lord our God with all of our hearts and our minds and our souls and our strength. And then the second commandment was to love our neighbors as ourselves. So we are to love our neighbors, love others, but we're also supposed to love and take care of ourselves. And I think that yoga is one of the most perfect ways of taking care of yourself. Exercise is good, breathing is good. And other ways of taking care of yourself are eating good and healthy food, getting good sleep, all kinds of not saying hurtful things about yourself. Sometimes we're not so kind to ourselves. So we're going to take care of ourselves today with some yoga. This is our easy seat, our cross-legged seat, Sukhasana. So connect yourself to God's creation, the earth, then grow tall and long like a tree. Rest your hands at your knees, or I like to rest them at my heart center, at my heart, just to kind of remind us, especially today, to be kind to ourselves. So we're going to use a mantra as we inhale and exhale. Remember, a mantra is just something that we say to ourselves that we want to remember, that we think is important, so kind of to remind us of what we're focusing on today. So as we inhale, we're going to say, I listen to myself, and as we exhale, with kindness, I listen to myself with kindness. So ready? Inhale, I listen to myself with kindness. Again, inhale, I listen to myself with kindness. One more time, big breath in. I listen to myself with kindness. Nice. Our next pose is our standing mountain pose, Tadasana. So find your way up to your feet, and I'm going to step back a little bit so you can see me here. Remember, mountain pose is nice and strong and sturdy. It gives us strength. We're not movable. We're not shakeable. We can do anything. So our feet are just a few inches apart, toes pointed forward. Nice again and long and strong and tall like a mountain. Take your arms away from your body just a little bit. Your palms are forward. Your head is held high. You are unshakable and unmovable in Tadasana. You can wiggle around, but you're not going to fall over. You are strong. Next, we're going to do that forward fold that we did and a half forward fold. So I'm going to do that. I'll do it forward here today. So we're going to inhale up from our mountain pose. Inhale long, tall, 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 and then we're going to dive forward. We're bending and folding forward. You can bend your knees. You can have your knees straight. Kind of see if you can paint around on the floor a little bit. But then we'll take our fingertips to the fronts of our legs somewhere, and we extend out, and we keep our eyes forward. Prepared and focused. Prepared and focused, we keep our eyes forward. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Looking forward, we stay focused. And then I'm going to turn to the side, and we're going to forward fold, but then we're going to come up into a new pose. It's called chair pose, or Utkatasana. That's a fun name too. So we're going to fold forward. Then we're going to bend our knees as we lift up a little bit. It's like we're sitting in a chair. See how that looks like we're sort of sitting in a chair? You can have your hands at your heart if you want. with your palms together in our little Namaste palms, or your arms up like this, chair pose. Now we're going to stand all the way up, rising tall, again like a mountain. Okay? The more we trust ourselves, the stronger we grow. Mountain pose. We're going to come to our plank again, so I'm going to turn sideways to remind you how to come to plank. Inhaling up, forward fold, put your hands on the mat and step your feet back into a plank pose. Okay? And then we're going to go into our upward facing dog, so remember our little feet here. We're going to flip our feet around. We're going to arch up and look toward the sun, facing whatever it is God wants us to face today. Ready to greet the day. Keep your knees up, you're nice and long and tall, your heart toward the sun. Now we're going to flip your feet back over and go into downward facing dog. Taking some breath, so when you're in here, you can inhale and exhale. Take a big inhale and let it go with some noise on an exhale. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale. Kind of funny. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Now, come down to your hands and knees. Remember what this is called? It's called what it looks like. It's a table here. So from our table, we're going to learn a new pose. These are cat and cow poses. This is kind of fun because you can make some noise here if you want to. But on our inhale, we're going to arch our backs like a cat that's fussy and he hisses. Have you ever seen a cat? Arch his back like that and go. So if you want to, you can inhale. You can say if you want to. But arch and stretch, tuck your chin, lift your back up. You can kind of wiggle around a little bit in this pose. And then when you exhale, we're going to drop our bellies to the ground and lift our chests up high again. And this is a cow pose. Moo, if you want to. Murr. So cow and cat. Cow and cat. We're stretching ourselves. We're getting mobile. We're moving around. You can wag your tail if you want to. Everything that we feel, whatever feels good, is welcome here. So sometimes in this pose, people are like, oh, I just kind of want to do this, or I want to go to the side a little bit. So play with that. Inhale for cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Then back to your tabletop. The next pose is one of my favorites. It's called boat pose, Navasana. So this one's really fun, and there's lots of different ways. I really like boats. I like sailboats in particular. So we're going to sit here with our knees bent, and my hands are underneath my knees here. But look how tall I am. I don't want to be like this. I want us all to look nice and tall, okay, with a boat. So you can do a couple of things. So maybe you just come up on your tippy toes, and this is your boat. You're still tied up at the dock. You haven't gone out to sail yet. This might be just where you want to stay today, and that's okay. This is a little bit of a balance pose too. You know how boats kind of rock, that sort of thing. So then you can play with this. You can maybe lift your legs up, keep your back straight. Maybe your hands come out like this. Let's see what this looks like from the front. So I'm starting like this. And then maybe I bring my legs up, wiggle my toes out there. Maybe my arms come out. Boat pose. Nice. That one's a tough one. You can play with that a little bit. So practicing balance is a way to be kind to ourselves. The next pose we're going to do also feels really good, and it's kind of a fun pose. Have you ever seen a baby kind of playing in a playpen or laying on the ground? They like to grab their feet, and they have their legs up in the air a lot. So this pose is called a baby pose, and I'm going to show you from the side. So we like to grab a hold of our knees here and roll ourselves down to the mat. And so with this pose, we call it happy baby because babies are pretty happy and playful when they're doing this. So on Ananda Balasana. So Balasana is a balance. Ananda Balasana. Okay. So we're going to celebrate being God's child and taking care of ourselves today with Balasana. So you're lying down on your back. Your knees are bent in toward your chest, and you can reach up. We call these our peace fingers. With your peace fingers, you can grab your toes, or you can grab the outside of your feet, and then you're just going to do this. And so instead of like rolling up like that, make your back nice and flat. Bring your knees in towards your chest, and make your feet point to the ceiling. Like you can make, if the ceiling came down to meet you, you'd make little footprints there. That's baby pose. And you can also wiggle around a little bit in that, straightening out your legs, that sort of thing. This is yoga's for you, and so you do what feels good. I'm going to show you this from the back as well. So I'm going down on my back. My knees are coming in and up. I'm going to grab my big toes. Happy baby pose. And then maybe I'm playing around a little bit with that, or maybe I just stay still. But that's a really fun one. Come back to your easy seat, your Sukhasana, to finish up here. Mowgli stayed with us the whole time. Nice and tall. Going to bring our palms together. Put our thumbs in toward our hearts to finish our practice with our Namaste. All the light in me and all the good in me sees and honors all of the light and all of the good in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself today by doing some yoga. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of Compassion Camp. I'll see you for our next session.